This week on Moms Like Us, Jessie James Decker breaks down in tears over a personal attack on her image.
But it does hurt my heart a little that people are ripping every little thing about me apart.
Then Stacey Silva opens up about whether or not she wants to have more kids.
Our next journey will involve fertility. I'm a mother of two amazing teenage sons, and Florian's a great stepdad.
Plus, Melissa Gorga talks about how she's there for sister-in-law Teresa Giudice's kids.
We're always there and we'll always be there.
And Tiffani Thiessen tells us why it's okay to let your kids get bored.
My husband and I talk about this all the time. I think kids should be bored.
We've got all that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Hi guys, welcome to Moms Like Us. I'm Mandy here with Stroller in the City's Bran Mans. How are you doing, Bran? Happy Thursday.
Hi, how are you? I'm doing great. The sun is shining, and so I'm happy.
So far, so good. I hope it stays like this for the weekend.
Absolutely.
We got to get right into our mom and dad celebrity news of the week. So we're starting with Stacey Silva. She's from TLC show Darcey and Stacey. They're the twin sisters. I don't know if you know them. She's talking to her with her husband about having another baby. She already has two older sons. So take a look.
Tell me how things are going with Florian.
Oh my gosh, we are doing great. You know, getting married in quarantine was something that I never expected, the pandemic. But you know what? Our love survived and we made it through, some of the toughest times, but we're stronger. It made us stronger. And I'm just glad that he made it to America in the nick of time, right before the lockdown. And we said our I do's, in quarantine, and our next journey will involve fertility. I'm a mother of two amazing teenage sons, and Florian's a great stepdad. Unfortunately, my sons are not on the show. They're more private, and I respect that. So for everybody out there that wonders, they're behind the scenes, they're great. Florian's a great stepdad, and something that we've always wanted was, be able to have a child of our own, but obviously my age plays a factor. But you'll see Florian's take on it and how he deals with the situation. And you definitely will see a different side of Florian. Different side.
Well, I understand that, he has a very sort of strict religious background. He may not be familiar with IVF. Have you convinced him that that may be the route to go?
Obviously my age is a factor. And even though we knew that along, he's an educated man, so he knows, but I think he puts faith over anything medical. He's he's Catholic. He was raised Catholic, and he just really believes that in the power of God and the power of, faith and miracle, and anything's possible. But, at my age, I have faith too, but not everything's possible. And I feel like you'll see why. And it's a very touching reason why he feels like that. But I'll let you guys wait till you see the show. The reason why he says what he says.
So Stacey and her husband Florian are thinking about having another baby, but she is a little bit older, so she probably has to go the route of doing IVF. Her husband doesn't seem that into it, maybe because of religious reasons, which, I have a lot of opinions on that. But she also says that we're going to find out the real reason on the show. So maybe we don't really know what the reason is yet.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of women are having babies even late in age and they don't have to go through IVF. So maybe they realize that they do have to go through IVF. So we'll see.
Maybe
I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch.
Me too. And she has two older boys. So she already, is a mom but she wants to have a baby with Florian, which is understandable. The show premieres on TLC July 19th. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on this one.
I know. The suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
The religious, I kind of definitely want to hear about the religious reasons.
Yeah. I'm a little iffy about this. I did IVF. I am also religious, and I saw nothing wrong with it myself.
Same.
Yeah.
I had to do IVF as well. So and I know so many other women who had to. So I don't really think that we can make that a religious. I think it's separate.
I think it's separate too. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So next up, we spoke with Melissa Gorga, who talked to us about her sister-in-law's new boyfriend and how she's there for her nieces. So take a listen to this.
What do you think about Louis for her? I know you've spoken a little bit about him, but do you think this is the one? Or the second one?
Yeah, I think he's the one. I think he's great. I think that she's never been happier.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
big statement.
Yeah,
Why do you think they work together?
they just do. They do. You have to like see their dynamic together, but I think they work really well together.
Yeah. It's all the pineapple, right?
Must be the pineapple.
Do you think that her kids like Louis? Do you see a nice relationship going on there?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I really do. I think they're doing great.
How are you there for Teresa's kids as their aunt, since I know they've been through so much over the last few years?
I mean, we're always there. We're always there. We've always lived in the same town. I mean, it's just the way it goes, you know. We're always there. We'll always be there.
Yeah. Do your kids hang out with her kids like all the time?
Yeah. Melania and Antonia, as everybody knows, you know, they just love each other the most and get along the best. And but yeah, when they're together, it's so cute because my boys, you know, for her girls, like my boys are the only little boys around, so they all just hoard Gino and Joey. They love them so much.
I mean, I just gotta say, I'm so happy for Teresa, and I feel like she's just so happy, and they're so in love, and I just like couldn't be happier for her.
A match made in Jersey heaven, I think. I mean, it seems like Melissa said she thinks he's the one, you know, or the next one, I should say, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said that the kids seem to like him. I mean, it's got to be so hard for those kids, the 4 girls, they had such a tight-knit family. Now their dad's living in Italy. Now their mom is madly in love and pretty open about talking about her sex life with Louis, which you know,
a little much. It's a little much.
It's just a big jump from going to like, you know, divorcing to being single to now talking openly about your sex life with Louis. You know, but I'm happy for her, and it seems like this might be the real deal for her. And
I agree 100%. I'm so happy. But yeah, I think the poor girls, like they've been through the ringer.
Yeah.
They've been through the ringer. And I do feel for them. Talking about your sex life maybe should be just like put on the shelf for a little bit.
Yeah. Just a few months. give these girls a break.
Yeah.
So we also chatted with Tiffani Thiessen, and she opened up about her family RV trip that they did. I think it was 11 days long. And she explained why it's okay to let your kids be bored. So take a look. I know that you guys recently traveled to the Grand Canyon. I recently traveled with my 6-month-old, and although she can't really speak negotiate yet, there's about 20 things I would have done differently. So what are your travel tips?
I hand it to you, sweetheart. 6 months, baby, and you were traveling like that? That's amazing. You're a rock star.
Not easy.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we always wanted to do an RV trip with the kids. My husband and I did them a lot before we had children. So we planned on going and doing one last year, but COVID hit, of course. So then we said, okay, this year we're definitely doing it when things got a little bit better and things were opening up. And so we did 11 days. We started off at Grand Canyon first. And then we went into Colorado, and then we whipped around and went back into Utah and went into Zion, which truly I think was my most favorite national park that I think I've seen to date. It was beautiful, stunning. Oh my God. I think because you almost have all these different environments, you know, and you know, coming into one national park. So you have like the deserty Utah, you know, sort of Arizona feel of the red rocks and all that. But then you have the lushness of Colorado coming in. So it was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. The hardest part, besides, you know, normal stuff, having children and arguments and all that kind of stuff and overtired and all that, was I think navigating truly the difference, because I have 5 years apart from my children. So what my 11-year-old can do and wants to do is very different than my, you know, my new 6-year-old. So there was a lot of carrying on hiking, but I was very proud of him. He did push through a lot more than I thought he actually was going to. But you'll see, I mean, as your little one gets older, like the stages, you just kind of have to really sort of understand the stages and what their limitations are for the child as well as mommy. We're very strict about electronics. I know our kids hate that, but I feel like it's good for the long run. You know, we're very outside people. That's why also we did the RV, you know, so they it's still allowed only a certain amount of time, even in the RV. So they're like, well, what are we going to do in the car? You know, and I was like, figure it out. It's like, you can draw, you can play games. There's Uno, there's tons of things. I love it for you.
That's a real old school trip. I love it.
It's an old school trip, you know, like, and I think my husband and I talk about this all the time. I think kids should be bored.
Yeah.
I think imagination and lots of wonderful things come out of being bored. So we don't mind our kids coming to us and telling us that they're bored. Great.
No.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Use your
Yeah.
imagination. I love that. That's a good
Exactly.
point.
Yeah.
So her big thing, she has 2 kids. I believe one is 11 and one is 6, something like that. Is their age difference causes a lot of fights and issues for them because it's one wants to do something completely different than the other. One is like pre-puberty, the other one's a 6-year-old. One's a boy, one's a girl. So how do you deal with that in your family? What is the age difference with your kids?
So the first 2 are almost 3 years apart, and then the second and third are 21 months apart. So they're super close.
Oh, nice.
But I can say from even experience, like my brother and I are 6 years apart. And then I had my sister and I are same thing as my girls, like 21 months apart. And yeah, there was like a little bit of a gap, but I think you just like, it catches up. Like it seems like a big deal when they're younger.
Yeah.
But then it just like catches up. And I feel like if you do have that big age gap, like you just make like the older child, like when my son was 5 when my third was born. So like he was like the helper, and you made him sound out like he was like the bigger kid. And I also do like one-on-one dates with them, and I think that helps like a lot. So it's either like me or like my husband will do like a one-on-one kind of thing with them, and they like love that.
Yeah, because you can kind of cater to their needs and what they want to do. Exactly. That's a good idea. I like that. So she also talked about boredom and why it's okay to let your kids be bored. Her and her husband are pretty strict about screen time. And when they were on their RV trip, she was kind of like, here's a coloring book, here's some crayons, some paper, here's a board game. That's what you can do. You're not picking up your iPad again. Are you guys pretty strict with screen time?
We do set limits for screen time, but I was just talking about this the other day. Like kids now are so scheduled and they have everything. Like I did not go to camp growing up, at summer camp. Like I didn't have, after school activities. I mean, I had a couple of classes here and there, but like my schedule wasn't fully booked. Like we were able to like go out and ride our bikes and play with our friends on our street. And like we were bored. I mean, I don't think we ever said we were bored, but like when my kids say that now, I'm like, go outside, ride your bike, put on rollerblades. There's other things to do besides the electronics. I think she's completely right. I mean, you have to set the limits, and it's a problem with kids everywhere now,
everywhere. I mean, and younger now. I mean, it's like, it's crazy how, I'm like already I'm not seeing it with Amelia. Obviously she can't hold an iPhone or anything like that. But even just like, when I'm at my wit's end and I want to put on Sesame Street, and she's still pretty young to put on anything like on TV. So I'm going through that like battle right now. Like, is it okay to put on Sesame Street for her? And is that going to make her
do it like little increments, like not like a lot, and
not like 3 hours
reliable. Yeah. And it's the same thing. Like, people talk about like, I would never give my kids a cell phone at dinner, and I think about it, like, what did my parents do back in the day? They didn't go to dinner, they cooked. And so if I want to go to a nice dinner, sometimes the electronics is okay. So I feel like our lives have been, it's a little different, what I mean? That's like my take on that.
I totally agree with you. Yep. So next up, Hilaria Baldwin posted this kind of, in my opinion, odd Instagram stories about her 6-year-old son, Raphael, I think his name is, keyed their car, her and Alec Baldwin's car, with his name. So, okay, I don't have a 6-year-old, but I would be livid. But she was kind of saying how he was being really hard on himself. So let me read what she said. She said, Rafa is having a hard time because he scratched the car in a very artistic ways, including writing his name and an emoji face. I am trying to stick with my calm and just explain to him why we don't do that. She went on to say, when you were a kid and sometimes you were doing bad things because you weren't paying attention and you got wrapped up in a game, then reality hit and you were like, what have I done? It was one of those. I even brought him out and showed him where both Alec and I have scratched the car. Okay. I don't know. I think this kid would be going in timeout for me. She seems to be like, it's totally
She probably feels bad. I mean, like he was probably doing it for attention or something. So she's having mom guilt about it, but at the same time, I would murder my kids. Oh my God. Kill them. Kill them.
I mean, it was bad. He keyed his whole name in it. I mean,
Right, like if it was like an accident and he had like his jacket or his backpack and scratched car, never, you know what I mean? But he doesn't, he was clearly wanting attention. She's clearly feeling the mom guilt. And I kind of would like, I get, she doesn't want to come down so much on a 6-year-old. I totally get it, but I'd give a little bit more of a pushback. I wouldn't be that calm about it.
No, and like posting all over the internet about how funny or whatever she thinks it is. It's strange. Their family. I want to like live with them for a week and just see how they deal with it.
Just be a fly on the wall. I can't even imagine.
I can barely get in the shower with a newborn. So, and she always looks amazing. I don't know how she does it with 6 kids now and 2 infants.
2 babies. Yeah. That are basically twins. They're like twins. I mean,
yeah, they are. Yeah.
It's unreal. You can't.
Unreal.
You would get no sleep if you were there for a week.
Maybe that's why she's like, thinks it's hilarious that they're
yeah, she's probably like delirious on sleep. It's so true.
We need some sleep.
I love it. I love it. So our clapback of the week goes to Jessie James Decker, who was sent a Reddit page this week about her image. So listen to what she had to say.
I just want you to keep in mind that I'm a person. And it doesn't feel good to be picked on or bullied or ripped apart. I've dealt with it my whole life. I thought it would be over once I became an adult, and it's not, but just know you're not alone. And I'm gonna wipe my tears. I'm gonna pull myself together because I'm a mom. And I'm gonna show my little girl a good time because I took her on this mother-daughter trip. But I always like to keep it real and honest, and that's what I'm gonna do, and just letting you know it hurts, but I'm gonna pull it together.
I feel bad for her because I feel like she takes it personally because I take everything personally as well. So I get that. And she needs to get like a thicker skin, and it's hard to say. You can't make someone get a thicker skin. It's something that she has to work on, but I get where she's coming from. And I just feel like no one should attack anyone's image, you know? I feel bad.
I honestly, I can't imagine. I am not a celebrity. I don't, you know, Christina usually does this job of hosting, and even just, I won't read comments on videos on our YouTube page because I could not deal with that. So to have an entire Reddit page dedicated to attacking her image is, I think I would totally have gotten emotional too. I mean, absolutely. It's horrible. And who's the person who she kept saying someone sent it to her. I'm like, who sent this to her? I mean, maybe she would have found it regardless.
Yeah. I mean, years ago, there was like this blogger, it was a whole website dedicated to just taking down bloggers, and people who like, you know, would read this. Like, I don't even know how they just like stayed calm and they just like went about their business. And it's bullying. It's bullying in every way, shape, or form. And it's like, it's 2021. Are we really doing that still? Like, it's also weird.
It's interesting that you said it's bullying, because it totally is. And not only is it bullying, but it's worse than anyone would ever say to her face. So that's the thing with these online trolls. It's like, it's 1,000 times worse than, you may have been bullied as a kid or whatever, and people may have said stuff to you. The things people say online is stuff people would not say out loud.
Absolutely.
Never say it to your face. So it is worse than it's ever been. And it's horrible. I really feel for her.
Agree.
Today's Mom's Getting Real is going to Halsey. I can totally relate to this because I went through something similar when I was pregnant. She was in the August issue of Allure magazine, and the singer said, I'm going to tell you something that's going to get me effing slaughtered on the internet, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I didn't take my prenatals. They went on to say, I had to make my choice between taking my prenatals and throwing up or maintaining the nutrients I did manage to eat that day. I was on so many medications and all these anti-nausea, anti-vomiting medications. I went to my doctor crying my eyes out, and I was like, I haven't taken my prenatals in 6 weeks. Is my baby okay? I was angry with myself. You have one effing job, take your prenatals. Your body's doing everything else. You can't even do that. they added when this pregnancy started, I was like, you're going to use essential oils and hypnobirth and meditate and effing journal every single day. I have done none of those things, zero, none. I eat cookies and have had a bagel every day for the first 5 months of my pregnancy. I mean, I relate to this so much. I was sick for 17 weeks and bad sick. It wasn't like people who are like, oh, I puked and went back to work. No, it was like, like bedridden. And I did take my prenatals, so I can't say I didn't do that, but there was many times I wanted to quit. I had to take all the anti-nausea stuff too, which I hated doing while pregnant because I was one of those people, oh, everything's gonna be all natural, you know.
Right.
I tried like the ginger gummies; those made me sicker. I tried, all the natural ways to combat the nausea. Did not work. Fully under, and I ate all carbs for the.
I did too. 100%. I was sick with my middle one, and it was like carbs or nothing. And the same with my assistant who was sick. Same thing, like 4 months long, and she ate a croissant every day, and she's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I am eating this, you know. And I think so, like, I think it was like her mother-in-law or something said like something about carbs to her, and she was like, I don't care.
No. Yeah, someone said something to me too about the bagels that I was eating, and I was like, no, don't care.
It gets you through the day. Listen,
whatever
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. You need to do whatever like makes you feel good. I mean, it's not like, I mean, I don't suggest drinking or smoking while you're pregnant, but like, you know, when it comes to making you feel better,
whatever
just do that. Whatever it takes.
But I love that Halsey was so open about this because they probably are going to get attacked online now because of saying that from all the people who didn't go through this. But
I also think a lot of women are going to say, you know, oh my God, me too. I did the same thing. You know, I think a lot of women who never spoke about it are going to speak about it now too.
Yeah. And I love that they said they're going to use essential oils and hypnobirth and meditate. And it's like, no, when you're feeling that sick, nothing's going to help. It's like all that goes out the window. I had one of those mom journals. I wrote in it one day and never again, which I feel so bad about, but my sister got it for me. I was like, thanks. That was a nice idea, but no, not happening.
Sorry. I love it. I love it. That's hilarious. Okay, so today's Say Aw moment goes to Kylie Jenner. The reality star posted a YouTube video this week and said Stormi has such strong women and men in her life, but she has a lot of strong women to look up to. I hope Stormi looks at me the way that I look up at my mom. Being a mom has become second nature to me. I think that's so sweet. I think she's the best mom too. I love it.
She actually like surprised me of all the Kardashian Jenner clan. I feel like she like really fell into this role and loves it so much.
Agree. I agree with you. Did like motherhood come natural to you?
Yes, I would say so. It did. There were certain things definitely that I still question if I do it right or whatever, but I think I also have 9 nieces and nephews. So a lot of them have lived in my parents' house, like when I was younger. So I've been around the block with kids, and it felt like second nature to me too. How about you?
Yeah, me too. The only thing like was like the whole like sleep thing for me in the beginning that just like threw me with my son. But other than that, like it's not hard for me. Like I'm used to like the multitasking situation. It's just very easy for me.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice that it comes naturally to her. And I think baby number 2 might be around the corner for her. We'll see.
No, I'm excited for that. Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks to our guests and to Brianne. We'll see you next week. We're here every Thursday at 3 p.m. on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.